If you're a cop-sucking douchebag, let me show you the way. You can really, really suck it, and you don't know what you're talking about. What up, everybody? I haven't done one of these in a while, so here's a person named Can, K-A-N. This was on my speeding ticket video, where I wasn't speeding, got pulled over, 3 cops show up because they don't know the actual traffic law, FS 322.15. So here's Can, and he doesn't like me because, here we go, we'll tell you why. Being rude about everything is what gets you into corners. Being rude about everything. I was traveling down the road working that day. I wasn't bothering anyone. So it's kind of rude to impede somebody's freedom. Because I wasn't impeding anybody's freedom. I wasn't armed, and I wasn't trying to steal anybody's money. So I don't know who I was being rude to have my freedom impeded. Okay, the right to remain silent means you have the right to not suggest incriminating evidence. It does not mean you don't have to answer police officer. Yes, it does, dummy. The Fifth Amendment gives you the right to remain silent at any time. You don't ever have to answer a police officer, ever. You're an idiot, Can. Stop insulting everyone who abides the law. Who am I insulting who abides by the law? I abide by the law. I wasn't breaking any laws that day. If you cooperate, maybe you would have an easier time with police. Do you give rape victims the same advice? Do you say, hey, if you just cooperate with your rapist, maybe he'll just rape you and go on his way instead of raping and killing you? And here's another stupid thing they always say on this video. You should set up a camera on the road ahead of you and on your speedometer. Yeah, I should have a production crew in my car so that when the cops try to steal my money, I can waste 2 days showing a judge who could care less if I have evidence against them. Have you ever been to a court in the last 30 years, Mr. Can? Mr. Kannot? You claim to be going 54 in a 50-mile-per-hour zone. So you were still speeding. Florida speeding starts at 6 miles per hour, dummy. Try reading before talking. You wrote a whole novel, and you have no clue what you're talking about. You claim to know the law better than them. Yes, I do. But in reality, you spend your days incorrectly interpreting laws. Oh, really, Can? Which one did I get wrong? And just being stuck-up person in general. I'm a stuck-up person? I didn't realize you know me. Call me up on the phone since you know who I am and you've seen me in general and you've seen how I act in general. When an officer asks to roll the window down, it's to make the interaction easier. Why do I want to make a person with a gun who's stealing my money on the roadside for no apparent reason, which I've done nothing to no one and there's no victim, why would I want to make the interaction easier for them? I don't even want them there. Do you understand that? I don't want my money stolen from the government. If you don't understand that, you're an idiot. They are trained to ask the question. I don't care what they're trained to do. I'm trained to stand on my rights. You understand that? I don't care what the guy with the gun who's holding me under duress is trained to do. I could care less. It's not my job to make them stealing my money easier. Do you realize how stupid you sound? They're trained to ask the questions and be calm as possible. They're trained to be calm as possible? Dude, do you live under a rock? But when someone like you does stuff like this, but when someone like me does what, idiot? Follows the law? FS 322.5 is the law. I was following it to the letter. But police don't like this law because it sure does limit all the stupid stuff they get trained to do. And it puts them in their place and shows that they're just a server for the DMV. That's all they are, waitresses for the DMV. It makes their job a whole lot harder. So me standing on my constitutional rights, which the police swore to protect, makes their job harder. So please just do what they ask and stop being a jerk. Again, do you tell women that? If a guy wants to rape you, just have sex with the guy, make his job easier so he could just rape you instead of raping and hurting you, or raping and killing you. You're an idiot, bro. You're a police apologist, to say the least. You said I've been polite to you, sir, when in reality you've done nothing but be a jerk and not cooperate. I'm not required to cooperate, and me standing on my rights and not cooperating with a gunman trying to steal my money is not rude, you idiot. Only a moron would say something like that. You are required to comply if an officer has reason to suspect you. Comply with what? I was complying. I gave him everything he needed to do his job. He's just a butthurt coward, just like you. Triggered. You got triggered. Which by your behavior during all of your encounters is good enough reason to suspect. Suspect me of what, moron? I was working. That's all I was doing. Excuse me. Would you suspect someone if you think they have done something wrong and say they aren't going to answer anything you ask? Hey, dummy can. Any lawyer worth his weight in salt will tell you never to speak to a cop. Ask a lawyer how much you should cooperate and speak to the police and answer questions. You're a moron, dude. For example, let's say someone took your bag of M&Ms and you ask them if they have it and they say, I'm not telling you. If they say they're not telling me, I could suspect them all I want. I can't force them to tell me. I can't say, tell me or I'm going to lock you in a cage. Tell me or I'm going to tase you. The burden of proof would be on me, wouldn't it, Can? That's Law 101. You would have a reason to suspect. I can suspect them all they want, and they can suspect me all they want. The burden of proof is on them, you moron. I don't have to cooperate with the outside of FS 322.15 because cops want me to, you moron. They could just leave me alone and we would never have a problem ever. Remember, Can, I didn't pull them over. They pulled me over. Now, in a cop's case, that reason to suspect means you have to comply. No, I don't have to comply and you're an idiot. Cite the law that says I have to comply. You said yourself you're obeying the law perfectly. I was obeying the law perfectly. When you're really not. Yes, I was, idiot. My cruise control could be off. You're the millionth idiot to say that. My cruise control was not off. The GPS and the cruise and the speedometer and everything were synced up. I was going 54. Their radar gun could be off and they could be fully believe you are speeding. That's probably what happened. The radar guns could hit a stop sign and it could show that the stop sign is going 60 miles an hour. And they have a 20% failure rate. But do you think that the court, which would give almost every speeding case used with radar guns, except the laser kind, 20% worth of reasonable doubt in court, and they're false and frivolous to begin with? Don't try to say you're right. You're fully in the wrong. Dude, I just destroyed your idiotic argument. You saying he has no reason to fear you and that he's a coward is completely wrong. Really? The guy with the gun, 60 rounds of ammunition, an taser, handcuffs, a billy club, pepper spray, and a bulletproof vest, who stopped me under threat and duress, has to fear me. If he's not doing anything wrong, why would he be scared? Because he is doing something wrong, Can. He stopped an American who wasn't bothering anybody, who wasn't doing anything wrong, who didn't damage, victimize, or trespass to anyone. He pulled him over under threat of violence because if you don't pull over, they will escalate, and they feel like they have the right to kill you if you don't stop for them. You understand that, right? You answered no questions, not required to answer questions, and any lawyer worth his weight would tell you not to answer questions. And when he asked you if you had a firearm, you wouldn't answer that. I'm not required to answer questions, Can, you moron. You wrote this whole novel and you just keep going back to something that you're wrong about. I don't have to answer him. I don't have to talk to him. I don't have to roll the window down. All I have to do is display my license, insurance, and registration. Other than that, you're a moron. For all he knows, you could have a gun on and ready to shoot him. For all I know, he could murder me, since police murder 3 Americans every single day. Every 7 hours, a cop's kill an American. Who's more likely to be killed, me or him? The cop at the end was basically telling you to be safe, and you did nothing but... I was being safe, you moron. There was no reason to impede my freedom and steal my money. What he was doing is called cop-splaining, and what you're doing is called bootlicking. You did not cite not one law. You're saying I'm fully wrong. You didn't cite one law. You got nothing here. Nothing but blah, 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 blah. That's it. FS 322.15 is the law that governs traffic stops in Florida. Florida speeding starts at 6 miles per hour. I was being safe. I wasn't bothering anybody. I had my cruise control on. He's wrong and you're wrong. You guys are stupid. My God. Congrats. All right, everyone, here's another. That video never stops producing morons, man. They just can't understand the idea of how can you talk to a guy in a costume with a gun like that? Because they've been so indoctrinated to believe that those are the heroes of America, when in fact, they're the biggest domestic terrorists in America. They steal $7 billion a year from the motorists, and that's just scratching the surface. Don't forget about civil asset forfeiture, where they just steal your money because they made up a story that you're using that money for something you're not. And Ken, you're probably 12 years old, dude. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And Ken, I hope you feel better. Have a good day.